What do you do if your string trimmer or brush cutter, this is a Ryobi Expand It, there's other brands, but they generally have a screw that you can add grease to the head. Now the manual, at least for Ryobi, doesn't tell you anything about it. They don't even mention the screw. If you go to any of the parts places online and look at the replacement heads, the screw is attached. It's not a replaceable part. Well, when I saw that mine was missing, I pulled the screw out of my trimmer, and it was the exact same screw. So then I checked it, and it turned out to be a metric 6 mil by 1.0 thread by 10 mil long. So that's it right there. And that will go into the hole, and it threads in just fine. So since you've been running it with the screw missing, I took some Q-tips. You can see they're dirty. I went into the hole like this and cleaned it out. I had alcohol on the Q-tips, cleaned it out the best I could. Then you install the grease. Now, there's many people are telling you all different kinds of greases. The only one that I could find that was for the trimmer heads was the steel super lube, and that is available at Runnings, and I'm going to show you how I install it. Okay, here's the steel grease that I got at Runnings. Now, if this was a steel head and not a Ryobi head, this right here would screw into there. However, Ryobi uses 6 millimeter. So you can see it's not going to fit. So what's got to happen is this blade has got to come off, and this has got to come off, because you're going to be at an angle. You can't get that in, and you want to get it straight so that grease doesn't squirt everywhere. Now, to get the blade off, it takes a 13 millimeter socket, and I used a Ryobi Impact, and this rod has to go into that slot and into that slot to hold it. Then when you get that off, your next step is to get these 3 screws off to get this cover off. In that case, it's an 8 millimeter. Forgotten had it set for Tighten, because it's a backwards thread on the first nut I took off. Okay, there's that. So now we ought to be able to clean that up a little bit and then see about getting the grease in. So now I'm going to see if I can get the grease in. So take the top off, and we've got a little protective cover here. There we go. So I'm going to put that on, try to balance it, and squeeze some in. Whoop. Probably ought to tighten that down just a bit more. And then turn that a little bit. We're getting grease everywhere here. Guess that's the idea. Oh yeah, that just popped back out. So I'm assuming that's full. So now, got my screw and my Phillips. Tighten that down. Hopefully it won't come out. There. Funny, Ryobi doesn't mention this at all. Apparently they just want you to buy new heads. Alrighty, so now I'll just put it all back together. So I've got my rod in, and putting this in reverse. There we go. Ah! Why does that not come out? Good question. Well, what I had to end up doing was loosen it back up, get this out, and then I just held onto the blade with this guard and tightened it back down. Now you notice I put it in upside down because I had pretty well worn one side of the blade, and it's a reversible blade, so now I've got a nice new edge to cut brush. So when I wear that one out, I've got another blade, but I went like a couple years of beating on stuff with this, so it lasts pretty well. This is how you lubricate that head, especially when you lose the Unobtanium 6x1 by 10 millimeter screw that nobody knows what it is and you can't buy it.